А на современных детей...
About a year ago, I started something I'd never imagined I would do, learning Russian. Well, Russian. It is not the most welcoming language in the world. Cyrillic alphabet, difficult pronunciation, and notoriously complex grammar. Но прожив с этим языком около года, я понял, что усвоенное мной выходит за рамки этого языка. Это является урок о жизни. Живи намеренно. Live intentionally. Well, it all started with a simple intention. I will go to Russia for work, and I don't want to be crippled by the language barrier. There it is, the simple intention. To be honest, as an adult, trying to learn something new is always scary and daunting. I'm never gonna make it with what's on my mind. And Russian is indeed one of the most difficult languages in the world. Let me explain. Look at the Cyrillic alphabet. This P here, it's that one took me weeks to pronounce. And to comfortably say it in a word like распространение takes another month or so. And this here, listen to it. What the heck is that? This one is so small, I thought it might not be that important. Then as I move on to learn Russian, I found that we is мы, you is ты, and fish is рыба. And it's actually the plural sign for half of the nouns. Goodness me. And in Russian, you print and write differently. This Russian letter looks like T. And in writing, it looks like M. And the actual M, that letter which looks like M, it writes like this. It's like the golden arch are squeezed together to become a peak. Look at this. This is M. Look at this letter. This letter. In the capital case, it looks like D, right? And in the lowercase, it looks like G. You know, it's such a Come on. Language is just really a random set of agreed upon symbols. In English, this would be wiper. A Russian would say нет, ура. But seriously, switching gears on the alphabet and pronunciation might just be the easiest part of the language. As you move on, you will find words like достопримечательность and more than 10 forms of one word. However difficult this language is, I just went on with my simple intention in mind. I learned Russian mostly during my commute on the subway, quitted aimlessly browsing my phone, and picked up Russian instead. It was days after days of listening, reading, and repetition. But things do change. И постепенно я могу читать много текстов на русском, понимать некоторые разговоры и немного говорить по-русски. Это первые шаги на пути к долгому путешествию. Но этот опыт придал мне уверенности в процессе. Several days ago, I read a quote from C.S. Lewis. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes? But when you look back, everything is different. The mundanity of life plus a little intention incubate changes. It's a win for patience and persistence. I always remember what Joni Ive said about Steve Jobs on his nurturing of ideas, and I quote, "He, better than anyone, understood that while ideas ultimately can be so powerful, they begin as fragile, barely formed thoughts, so easily missed, so easily compromised, so easily just squished." End quote. It reminds us that cool things start from fragile ideas, nurtured daily. Our actions change our reality. Our intentions matter. Even if it's in the background of our life, it will develop on its own, and over time, take us to places we never imagined we could be.